But the call by the people that the president should say something, I mean, do you find this genuine, or you too would do the same?
My brother,
if you were in that position?
My brother, the silence of the president on this issue is also not helping matters. You have heard of presidents in the region. Even when there was xenophobia, you remember, Thabo Mbeki had to cancel, Sarah Ramaphosa had to cancel his trip in Israel to go and attend to that problem. And he spoke to the country about it. When there was a problem in England, the Prime Minister cancelled his trip in the Middle East to go and attend to that problem and spoke and addressed the nation. Only heaven knows why our president is quiet about it. But I don't want to speculate. Like I've said, if we speculate too much, we are only escalating the whole issue. And I'll be speaking against my own principles of saying, look, let us not speculate and issue unnecessary statements. But I think by and large, the silence of the president on this issue is not helping matters. I heard the presidential aide, Chipampe, issuing a statement. But you should know that Zambians did not elect Chipampe. Zambians elected His Excellence, the President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, to superintend over the affairs of this nation. And they will be more comforted, Zambians will be more comforted if they hear the president say something, address the nation on this issue. But it's his own way of doing things. We can only advise that Your Excellency speak to the people. But if he doesn't want, who are we?
2021 is not far away from now, and I know that very soon campaigns will be on, and we'll see a lot of political parties participating in these campaigns. But then my question now is that there's the Electoral Commission, Electoral Commission of Zambia, which has issued a statement that, and they've made it clear that this time around they are not sponsoring any members of various political parties to accompany or be present or witness the printing of ballot papers abroad. NGOs have come out and they've had their own voice, and they feel that this is not right. What is the position of NDC on this matter?
First and foremost, let me say that I think, by and large, it is again the first time that we have seen a very outspoken and controversial chief elections officer in the history of this country. The young man who is now the chief election officer, by the name of
Mr.
Shindano, must be removed before it's too late. Patrick is childish, and let not him take his childishness to issues of elections. That position needs to be held by somebody who is tough-tested and somebody who is reasonable to realize that elections can lead the country into civil strife and civil war. But the young man is not sensitive to what he says. Very unreasonable. Look at what was happening in Chilubi. So many issues reported to them. Not even one action was taken, except where they wrote a letter to Zampost to say allow. Yes. But even when Zampost decided to charge 10,000, they did not go back to tell them and say, look, why should you charge 10,000 when you have always charged 500 per vehicle under normal circumstances? They let things happen like that, and they came and announced the elections as free and fair elections. What an electoral body. We don't want what is happening in Malawi to happen here, where people are now have resorted to protest against the election commission in that country. If we are not careful, that is also going to happen in this country. If we can have childish individuals like Nshindano heading the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Look, it is not Zambians' desire to have the election ballot papers printed out of the country. Zambians have spoken over these issues that they want the elections to be printed here in Zambia. Statements were made, even when I was in Parliament, assuring us that the 2021 elections materials will be printed by government
printers, yes.
And the former Minister of Finance, Felix Mutati, promised that they were going to find money to fund government printers to make it able to print the ballot papers. If you print the ballot papers at government printers, you don't need to sponsor anybody to go and monitor. Political party stakeholders will just walk there every day and monitor. Some would go from morning up to 18 hours. Then others will go from 18 hours because, you know, the printing has to be 24 hours.
Yes.
They'll walk on their own. They'll buy their own food to eat. And they'll be coming from their own homes to go and monitor the elections. But you, as Election Commission of Zambia, you decide to go and print the ballot papers in Dubai.
Yes.
And then you say, all those who want to go and monitor the printing of ballot papers, you have to fend for yourselves. You have to use your own money, which has never happened in the history of this country. You know that always when they print ballots outside the country, usually they used to print in South Africa. The Electoral Commission of Zambia used to put on their budget the issue of monitors from political parties and other stakeholders, civil society. And we've never had any questionable printing of the ballot papers because monitors are there. Now, if you say you are not going to take the monitors there, even before the elections start, you have a problem with the Zambians. How are they going to believe that the printing was above board with what is happening where the opposition are not allowed to campaign? You cannot allow the opposition to ferry their vehicles to the island. All these police application of unfair application of the Public Order Act. Surely, can you entrust ECZ, who cannot take an action, to go alone there and do the printing of the ballots? If you cannot afford to pay for the stakeholders to go, come and print the ballots in Zambia so that they monitor them. Because already it shows that it is a deliberate ploy to try and exclude the stakeholders from monitoring the printing so that something else can be done while printing. I want to urge my younger brother Shindano and Mr. Esau Chulu, please, the money that is going to be used to send the monitors is not coming from your pockets. After all, Electoral Commission of Zambia does not make its own money. They are funded by the government. So why should it be Electoral Commission of Zambia to tell us that we are not sponsoring monitors? Are we asking you to sponsor monitors? We are asking the government of the Republic of Zambia to put aside a budget to go and have monitors monitor the printing. In any case, elections are constitutional. And the cost of elections, you cannot gross over it. And you cannot avoid it. Just like there's no way you can say an MP dies and you say we are not going to have elections because we don't have the money, we have austerity measures. Money is always found. Money is always found to hold elections. Why now you say there is no money because of austerity measures? Which austerity measures are you talking about? Just yesterday I was seeing trucks, Zambia Army trucks coming in, brand new, bought by this government. Are we at war to prioritize the buying of army transport in this country? So stop playing with the minds of the people and stop agitating the people to do what they don't want to do. Zambians are not known for violence. Zambians are not known for massive protests that will affect the productivity of this country. Zambians are known for peace. Allow them to go and monitor the printing of elections so that we can all agree that these elections are free and fair. That's all, my take.
But then, let me now ask the position of the NDC. I mean, I'm trying to picture you at the helm of this country and what cabinet you run and how you will manage all these things that you have actually alluded to and criticize of what the current government is doing. I mean, let's discuss, for example, health, education. I mean, these are key. I'm not saying that the others are not, but I'm basically trying to say that there are issues. Each time we host a person like yourself on this particular program, these issues come out that yes, infrastructure has been built in terms of hospitals, but these hospitals have no medicine. I mean, how would you want to change a situation of this nature?
It's a question of priorities, my brother. It's a question of prioritizing things that are important. Like I've just given you an example. This year's budget, the military, Minister of Health, of Defense, was given 6 billion kwacha. 6 billion kwacha budget. What was the explanation of this 6 billion kwacha? What was the explanation? They needed to buy equipment for the military. Now the question is, are we at war? Are we under any threat to prioritize spending this colossal sum of money towards the military? And you are spending this colossal sum of money. When you narrow it down to how much do the soldiers get? Peanuts. Our men in uniform are paid peanuts. Our generals are paid peanuts. But you take 6 billion just to go and buy army equipment. The equipment that Dr. Kaunda bought, the equipment that Chuluba bought, has never been used at any war because we have no war to talk about. You go and buy some more military vehicles, military equipment, military planes, military helicopters, all in the name of getting commissions. Our friend in government today, when they are doing anything, they just check where they can get commissions. People have made money at Ministry of Defense. People have made money out of commissions at Ministry of Defense. They are rich. Those who are involved with the procurement at Ministry of Defense, at the expense of having drugs in hospitals. Instead of taking this money to buying drugs in hospitals, to improving the schools, running the schools well. Can I tell you something for nothing? Under this government, schools have stopped getting grants. If you ask a headmaster today, they will tell you they don't remember when they lastly got a grant. Even hospitals are not getting grants because there is no money. There is one hospital where we went and we were told, we have been instructed to only admit extremely serious cases because we have got no food to feed the patients. There have been instructions to only admit extremely. And when I mean extremely, they meant umuntu said, I'm conscious admit. Those who are sick, who need, you know, you need admission not because you are very sick. Some drugs can only be administered when you are in hospital, under medical care. There are people that need to be put on a drip. Drips can only be administered in the hospital. But all these cases, they've said, don't admit them because we have got no food to feed the patients. And yet somebody goes to buy military equipment. Somebody goes to buy a presidential plane. It is only misplaced priorities that are killing this country because people have appetite to make money of their own so that they can go and donate 4,000 meal to their electorates. Giving the electorates meal is not sustainable. What we need is to create employment for those people so that they can earn money every month to buy their own meal. But going to give them meal one-off and think you are doing your job is misguided thinking. There is an English saying that teach a child how to fish. Don't give the child fish. What we are seeing from the current leadership, they are believing so much in giving the child fish and not teach the child how to fish. What we are grappling in this country, is unemployment. It is this unemployment that has caused the suffering among the people. And we need to create employment seriously by industrializing this country. This 6 billion that was taken to buy army equipment can be invested in industry, manufacturing industry, even agriculture sector to create jobs. I have always given an example, a very good example of the Mpongwe Development Farm. That Mpongwe Development Farm, which is now Zambi Farm, employs about 18,000 people. That Mpongwe used to be a bush. Dr. Guy Scott, with the CDC, Commonwealth Development Corporation, invested 7.5 million euros. 6.5 million euros, which worked out to be about $7 million. Right? They created that farm. Today, the farm is so productive, it employs 18,000 people. Now, if we take the 6 billion that was taken to buy aeroplanes, to buy trucks, the ones we saw at Nakonde yesterday and the ones we saw being transported on the train, I'm told they've bought 150 pieces of vehicles, lorries and trucks. And those are only troop carriers, transport to transport the soldiers. You go and spend 6 billion. In the meantime, you don't have people unemployed. The agriculture sector is struggling. You have no manufacturing to talk about. That is what Kambwili will come to change. Prioritize development through creation of jobs by planting industries and investing in the agriculture sector. Imagine if we took this money to make, if we say that by that time they created Mpongwe Development Farm, the cost of planting a farm like Mpongwe Development has moved to $10 million. How many $10 million do we have in 6 billion? We can plant one Mpongwe Development Farm in each town, even two in each town. And if we can employ 18,000 from 107 districts, how much employment are we going to create? And by the way, the products from Mpongwe Development Farm can also have value addition. Value addition in terms of milling plants for the maize, milling plants for flour, for that's wheat, soya beans, production of soya cakes and them, also production of stock feed, which we can export in the whole region. You know that Botswana has got a lot of livestock, but their conditions don't allow agriculture because it's a desert, it's too hot. Today Zambia is exporting the byproduct of milling. What is it called?
The number 3.
Not number 3. Maize bran. Today when you go to Kazungula, 3/4 of the trucks are taking maize bran to Botswana. When you stand in Great East Road, you see people have piled up maize bran and wheat bran for people who export to Botswana to come and pick. Now, if we can plant Mpongwe development farms in every, how much maize bran, how much stock feed are we going to export to earn foreign exchange? Not only to Botswana, to Namibia, to the Congo, to Malawi, but because priorities of leaders are misplaced. That's why we have a problem. For me, I'll come and prioritize issues that have to do with creation of employment. We've heard these stories that we are going to create employment. How are you going to create employment when even the jobs today in the mining sector, do you know that Zambianization has been reversed? We Zambianized up to CEO and chief executive. We had the Zambian chief executive, Francis Kaunda, who was later replaced by Mr. Edward Shamtete. Later on replaced by Mr. Mambo, Pius Mambo. These are Zambians trained at the University of Zambia. Today in the mining sector, when you go there, all the jobs, management jobs, have been taken up by foreigners. At some mine, we had the chief finance officer, a Zambian. Today they have removed him and brought a white man. And we are watching. Then we say you are going to create jobs. What a joke. What a joke of leadership. Look at the living standards of civil servants today. Civil servants live in squalor, my younger brother. Why? Because we are not creating wealth by growing the economy. Because everything that we are doing, we are spending money in consumption. We need not to spend money on projects that are of consumption nature. We need to spend money on projects that are sustainable and can raise their own money to pay back those loans in order to create employment. Today, I received a complaint from the teachers. Not today, for the past 1 week. Like I told you, people bring information to me. I don't create information. They give me information because they trust me. They know that I'm a voice of the voiceless. And for some of us to alishimpula, inena alishimpula ngomusunga, mfwayafyo kwa kushomutwe. Ishtina muntu, pampumia muntu, tapema nkala mwaikulia. If you are wrong, I'll just tell you you are wrong. If you are corrupt, I'll just tell you you are corrupt. That's Chishimba Kambwili. And that is why people trust me to bring all this information. Look, the teachers, they call it the teaching council. The teaching council, which has been given the responsibility of registering teachers and giving them practicing certificates. Very well intentioned, very good intentions. Because in the past we had mediocre teachers. Some of the teachers were not qualified. Some of the teachers were faking qualifications. It was a very good idea. And in fact, this was done during the Michael Sata. We decided that we need to create a teaching council, just like we have the nursing council, just we have the Law Association of Zambia, so that this institution can manage the issue of teachers. Right? Now, this body has now started being unfair to the poor teachers. They are charging for registration 580 kwacha. For the license, they are charging 970 kwacha. For the certification, now they are asking them to go and certify their results from the institutions that prepared the examinations. For instance, if you are a teacher in Chipata and you went to Chipata School of Education And the examining body is the University of Zambia. They are asking the individual teacher to travel to the University of Zambia to come and certify their results. And University of Zambia is charging them 1,500. Now, let's take, for instance, a teacher from Kaputa. Teachers earn about plus or minus 5,000 kwacha a month. He's asked to renew his license. First, he pays 580,000 for registration. He has to pay 970 kwacha for the license. And he has to pay 1,500 for verification. And for somebody to move from Kaputa to and from to Lusaka is 1,050 kwacha. The total comes to 4,100. Against the 5,000 kwacha that the teacher earns, plus you know that teachers have got loans, they have got children, they have to pay housing allowance. How can you be unfair to your own teachers, your own civil servants who are giving you a service? Did we introduce this teaching service to now teaching a council to now draw the little money that teachers earn? The answer is no. Why are we charging all these fees? Why should somebody pay 1,500 for certification? Why should somebody pay 970 for a license? How many teachers do we have? How much money is the teaching council collecting? We need to introduce minimum fees for these people. How can you pay registration 580, licensing 970, and pamulu no mama bika pona certification every year? Teacher na bana babu. Me, I give an example that my late uncle, Mr. Emmanuel Wadialumbwe, my mother's elder brother, was a teacher. Me, my father was a miner. We used to go holiday to my uncle. From a teacher's salary, we were able to have breakfast in the morning. Tea, bacon, bread and butter. Around 10, 11 hours, we'll eat something, a snack. At 12 hours, we'll have lunch. At 15 hours, we used to drink tea with milk and butter. And around 19 hours, we have our supper. From a teacher's salary, and he could manage to buy clothes for us. Huh? He used to manage to pay for electricity, etc., etc., and school fees for my cousins. And my cousins are educated. One of them is Dr. Chimbalumbwe. One of them is Waria Lumbwe, who was general manager at Mindstone. From a teacher's salary. Today, teachers cannot educate their children. Teachers cannot buy bread from month end to month end. Teachers cannot have 3-course meal in a day. Mwamuku bikila pona fimbi na ngutamwako atoluse. Natuatila mwe filuani mwe nistatule tukana. Therefore, if you start looking after the people well. You increase electricity, you increase water, you increase fuel, you increase everything, cooking or sugar, you go and give the teacher 4% salary increment. What are you telling them? But in the meantime, you can go and buy military equipment. You can go and buy a plane for the president. No. It cannot be business as usual. Things have to change.
Let me at this point invite our listeners now to call in and interact with you on the number 0955 221515. This is the Tuesday edition of the Burning Issue. And remember that we are live also on iWave FM radio in Chingola on 90.1 FM. And in Chingola, other than Chingola, iWave also has reach in Mufulira, Lufanyama, Chirilabombwe, Chambishi, and Kalurushi. And remember, we are also live on Muchinga Radio on 88.9. That is in Chinsali, Isoka, Muchinga itself, Mafinga, Mungwe, Kasama, Chiawangandu, as well as parts of Chama. Okay, the number you are calling us on is once again 0955-221515. You can as well send us text message or send us a WhatsApp on the same number. Let's take a few calls now. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Your name and where you calling us from? Wiseman from Lusaka.
Good morning, wise man.
Please go ahead.
Kuona masesheni yamunafanyiwa along hizo mwezi za rodi za vujatu ambapo vilivonze bali kusa monga ine mungu amene msefana azenze wamene kunogwera mubao mungatiende kwayo ayaja maiko sesheni amene apangisa kusokoneza anthu okwera vakosinyo kutoka mumasesheni kunogwera murosi vaperere murosi mungatisikirepo cyane pankani ya corruption amene mukambapo yamugavumenti yake corruption ndona ilimo ioneka ilimo zisika zioneka nanango kupenya kuona koma isizo kuti tingatije kubvani iyi corruption isire magavumenti yako anditi ishu yamene mwakamba ya vahisize yokuitima yoleketa kusambani yabusa ekeo aitingiyo ukambepo na banki maningi kozi izi vamanechalo pamene chienda kuti vachiita transformation vachiye kutali kumabharoti amene kuti valesa voindosokurepo maneni kusiiza kuti vafuna chanya aitingi ndiye vamene ndikuitapepo paplatform yako
Let's go more, Wiseman. We'll take some more calls. Allow me to take some more calls on 0955-221515. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I am the governor of Ojoba County, and that's what I said. Opposition leader Dr. Kambwili, good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
He that aspires to become a president of the Republic of Zambia does a good thing, but should be factual and honesty to the Zambian people. The truth of the matter is that the patriot flag has delivered to its citizens. All they promised, that much we should know. Secondly, the challenges that we had as a result of climate change are coming to an end after the bump harvest this year. What do you, the opposition, tell the Zambian people? Lastly, secondly, about electricity. The waters are in Kalibata. Kambwili is about to be opened, so electricity is stable. Night as we condemn the PM, it is stable. What will be your manifesto? You said you are working with the opposition UPND. What are you going to tell the Zambian people? The opposition has nothing to tell the Zambian people. That is the truth. Cristiano, this is the senior person. It's just any other Zambian who has been appointed to do his work, and is just doing his work. Honestly speaking, do you want the political parties to be taken to Dubai? On whose money? Our taxpayers' money. Even the PM themselves who sponsor themselves. These that form the political party of the Kambwili should be prepared to incur the cost to and fro to Dubai and to sponsor the people, not to rely on government property. So if it has been the trend in the past, why should we consider Zambia making such a mistake? Why is it that mistake not to that? So all it can any Chirubi were given time to campaign. Before President Edgar Waruku went to Chirubi, you people people of Kirubi. What was wrong with that? If you are saying that Kirubi, you were you just also in Western Province, where you were white with the UPNC, 3 by-elections, the ruling party won the patriot flag. Wow. That would have to be a special. Our opposition, you know that you are fighting a losing battle. Banumbu and the patriot flag have delivered to the Zambian people. It is all to see in black and white. Don't think anyhow our opposition and it becoming crime pressing will take you nowhere.
Thank you very, very much, Governor. I need to get.
I want to give him a last advice. I plead with you this morning. I plead with you as you leave the election station to go and apologize to the patriot flag. Yes, but to patriot flag because we still need you. The flag that is in you is here, but I'm going to stop deceiving yourself.
Thank you very much. Allow me. Would you like to
Yes,
respond?
let me
Okay,
respond.
please do.
Ntumba chushi in Bemba they say pansa katapabula chwele. Hello Kambwili, let me tell you, young man, the problem that has led this country into where we are is having people who don't want to accept facts. Nobody's saying that PF has not built roads, or that PF has built a few infrastructure, development. What is building a hospital where there are no drugs? For instance, the hospital that is in Chilubi, there are no beds. There is no staff to work there. There is no medicine in that hospital. Can you call that delivery? You also say that I must go and apologize to the PF and go back to PF. What should I apologize to PF for? I was hounded out of PF. I was expelled. Why do you want me to go? Who's supposed to apologize to the other? It's those people who hounded me in PF who are supposed to apologize to me. I have nothing to apologize. Then you go to the Chilubi by-election. You say you were given an opportunity. Tumba chushi. Ukulande kamuchalo chisuma. We have been campaigning in this country all these years. And you know that when there are campaigns going on, what usually happens is that the last day of the election, or 2 days before elections, usually that is when the president comes. All of us, we allow our ordinary party members to organize the people. And then the last week is used for presidents of political parties to go and have rallies. And during this time, there's never been any reported incident apart from the Mongu one which you refer to. And the Mongu one was not a by-election. It was a traditional ceremony. So you must learn to state the facts. Where there have been elections, where people have crashed with the president. I have been in this game for a long time. Even under Mr. Sata, under President Chiluba. President used to go 1 day or 2 days before the end of the campaign period to give the other opposition space. We had agreed our programs with the police in Chilubi, and our programs were stamped by the police for the last week. And we were told the 10th, the 11th and the 12th, that these were going to be reserved for the president. And we agreed. So we had our days from 7 to 10th to do our campaigns as presidents of political parties. Was this a time given to us? They refused us to transport our vehicles to the main area, to the island. Then you say, no, everybody was... You see, what you people in PF are doing and the winning of these elections is what I can only equate to the emperor's new suit. If you were in primary school and you read about the emperor's new suit, where everybody knew that the emperor was naked, but they were pretending to tell him that the suit is very nice because they wanted to look wise. That's what UPF are doing. You know that you can't win elections without giving millimil. You can't win elections minus being unfair to the other participating political parties and stakeholders. So you are avoiding others to do the normal campaign for them to sell their manifestos, and you are corrupting the people. You say you are winning elections. Let me tell you, Ntumbachusha, I don't know how old you are, but I'll tell you that before 2011, MMD was winning all the by-elections, like you are winning as PF, and they were saying we are going to trash the opposition because we are winning elections. What happened in 2011? MMD lost punch down. And you, PF, if you continue, and it's people like you, Ntumbachushi, instead of advising your leaders the correct thing, you are misleading your leaders for them to believe, yes, you are popular. Let me tell you that PF, as opposition, won the Mangango by-election in a by-election. Is it Lingangwe? Honorable Lingweshe. We won in Mangango. What happened when the by-election came in 2016? UPND won by a landslide margin. So let me tell you, winning by-elections under corrupt practice and everything does not mean that you have delivered or that the people appreciate you. And they know that after all, we are not changing the president. Even if we change a councillor or what, the government remains the same. They can be corrupted and help you. But let me tell you, Governor Ntumbachushi, no wonder you can't even give your name because you know you are not genuine. Me, I don't believe in people who don't give their names. One, they are cowards and they don't want to be identified because they know that what they are talking about is rubbish. A person who knows and believes in himself must identify himself with his real name. But for you, you use Governor Ntumbachushi. We don't have any position of Governor Ntumbachushi. That shows how shallow-minded you are. Electricity. You are talking about electricity. The issue of climate change started in 2015. We had a shortage. I was Minister of Information. I went all over the country and promised the people the programs that we had outlined, which by 2019, we could have had a lot of power generation points, mixed generation, hydro, and of course, other sources of. We had 19 projects that we should have done in order to cushion load shedding during the adverse effect of climate change. And by the way, is climate change affecting Zambia only? Climate change is affecting all over the world. Tell me if they have a problem of electricity in England. Tell me if there's a problem of electricity in America. Tell me if they have a problem of electricity in France. They are all affected by climate change. And good leaders who find solutions to climate change will not lament and cry over climate change. It's only failed leaders. Filabatila, a bad carpenter, blames his tools. We expect the government from 2015 to have put in place programs that were going to resolve the issue of electricity, because that's the first time that we had a big problem in terms of electricity. Where are those programs that were lined up for you to say, are you going every year to be crying climate change? Because even we are saying electricity will stabilize. Yes, it will stabilize, but the rain season will go back to the same thing. You come and start crying again at climate change. When and the governor, you need to change much one. You need to change. ECZ. Who told ECZ to go and print ballot papers in Dubai? In Dubai. It's them who decided to do that. Did the people of Zambia tell them to go and print ballot papers in Dubai? We have got our own here. We have got our own
government printers.
Government printers. Why don't they print ballots in Zambia? We are not asking for too much. It's not our decision as opposition political parties to go and print ballot papers in Dubai. Our wish is that the ballot papers must be printed in Zambia. Printing in Zambia to cut down on costs like what you are talking about. Like sponsoring 50 people. It will not be there if the ballots are printed in Zambia. So please be reasonable when you are talking about these things. And when you don't understand, the things are beyond your understanding, it's better to keep quiet than expose your ignorance. It will not help you. So this issue of climate change is neither here nor there. And if people PF has delivered, why are people hungry in the country? If PF has delivered, why is it that people are not employed? If PF has delivered, why is it that out of the whole country endowed with water and land, only 15% of the land is used for agriculture? Is that what you call delivering? If PF has delivered, why is it that the production of copper has dropped? If PF has delivered, why is it that people are dying from hunger? If PF has delivered, why is it that there is corruption in the country? If PF has delivered, why is it that electricity is beyond the reach of ordinary Zambians? Milli is beyond the reach of ordinary Zambians. Political leadership is to uplift the living standards of your people, not building roads that people don't even have vehicles to move on. How many people in Zambia use the roads that you are saying that you've created roads? It's just a fraction of the people. For instance, these roads in Lusaka, do we have the same roads on the Copper Belt? Do we have the same roads in Chinsari? Do we have the same roads in Mporokoso? Do we have the same roads in Wash? Don't be myopic, Ntombachush. Don't be myopic.
Let me take another set of calls. But before that, allow me to squeeze in a few text messages. This one says, "Good morning, Honorable Sike. I'm now getting confused when you say you come and change things when you form government. Meanwhile, you've been saying that you are ready to work under someone. PF has now become corrupt because you are no longer in the system. Why not report corrupt elements in PF when you know them?" Okay, so other than that, let me take in a few calls.
Let me answer that one.
Let me just take this call then. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the program. Your name and where you calling us from? Geoffrey Mwamba, as in GBM.
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, please go ahead. And where are you calling us from?
Mkwai Mwabombe.
Ba governor, if ofine Mwaranda Mkwai. Mkwai. So you wanted to respond to that message?
Yeah, that message which says, what did you say again?
Yeah,
that's right.
Like you're confusing him because you are now saying that you change things when you come into government, but on the other hand, you've been saying that you are ready to work under someone.
Listen, there's no way where I've said I'm ready to work under somebody. I've said once we agree, there's been no agreement of electoral pact with any political party. Like I've said, we are working with the UPND as an alliance on 10 things that we agreed. But should this thing, end up in an electoral pact, and if I am told to deputize by the people of Zambia and the people that are given to look at this pact, why shouldn't I? But for now, I am campaigning as UPN NDC president because I run an independent political party from UPND. If we agree that I should be the deputy, or if we agree that I should be the president and vice versa, HH becomes deputy, who are we to refuse? So at the moment, I am NDC president, and I am campaigning to be president in 2021 as NDC. But should anything come where I'm asked, and the grouping that we are in agree this should be the president, this should be the, who am I to refuse? So there's no confusion whatsoever. You are creating the confusion yourself, and you are saying you are no longer in PF. There's no corruption
because you are no longer in PF, yes, and there is no corruption.
My brother, when we are in the real PF, when a minister is accused of corruption, Mr. Sata used to fire. I have not been part of this corrupt regime. I was part of the Edgar Lungu administration only for 1 year, 6 months. And during that time, there were no issues of corruption like we are seeing today. So, how do you say that now that you are out of PF, there is no corruption? In the Michael Sata days, people used to fear to be corrupt because they knew that if I indulge in corruption, the people of Zambia will not even cry to have you removed. It was the president who used to remove.
This one says, morning, Dr. Chimba. What are you going to do for us youths when you come to power? We want to hear from you because we have heard a lot. This is John from Lusaka.
Youth, you have an ally in Chishimba Kambwili. What you youths want today is not handouts like they are giving you today. You need jobs, sustainable jobs. And I have jobs for you, the youths. And make no mistakes, youths. Rally behind Chishimba Kambwili. I have got the answers for you. You see, we cannot create employment, young people of this country, if even a t-shirt, simple t-shirt, simple shirt, sold in every shop at the malls they are building is made in China. If even a pant for a child is made in China, toothpick is made in China, cornflakes made in South Africa. My plan is that we have to renegotiate with our colleagues in SADC, and also the Chinese, to say that, look, Chinese, we are happy to receive your products, but we want these products to be manufactured in Zambia. Come and create your industries here in Zambia for us to be buying the t-shirts that we are buying from you. If you are not ready to come and put these factories in Zambia in order to create jobs for my youths, we are also not prepared to use our foreign exchange to come and buy t-shirts from you. That simply means protecting local industries. It is only by protecting local industry that you can create employment. How many vehicles do we have here in Zambia, young man? If you remember, Kaunda started a very, very good project. He wanted to open a parts manufacturing company in Kitwe. If you have been to Kitwe tennis club, on the road going to golf club, you will see that there are those big warehouses that Kaunda and ZCCM built in order for us to start manufacturing spare parts for heavy equipment, machinery in the mines, for small vehicles, and all the kind of equipment in Zambia. If we had actualized that program, which unfortunately MMD did away with when they privatized the ZCCM, we could have created a lot of employment for engineers. And by the way, I remember very well that a lot of young men from Umpelembe Secondary School were actually sponsored by ZCCM to go and train in the production of these spare parts. That has not been actualized. What I want to come and do is to plant industries by protecting the local industry. Today, you find that a t-shirt which is made in China is costing more than a t-shirt that is made in Zambia. As a result, people want to buy that t-shirt from China. But I think the way we can normalize these things is to up the tariffs for the Chinese to export things here and make it cheaper for China, for the Chinese companies to come and manufacture in Zambia. And that's the only way we are going to create jobs. That's the program that I have for the youths. I want when youths graduate from university, this is how it used to be. I'm a company that approach. Not to one from university, I am good at I will not allow that.
There's Wiseman Tembo who sent something on our Facebook page, and he says our legal system implies that one is innocent until proven guilty. With due respect to you, sir, Your accusation on Honorable Chitalu Chilufya are not facts but mere speculations that don't make him guilty under the law. Let investigations be concluded. It's the same as it was with you. Others labeled you guilty before the courts found you so. My question to you, sir, is there a law that the PF broke by booking the transportation on Chilubi Island for 21 days and you had nothing to use as opposition? Now, on the part of Dr.
Wiseman Tembo.
On the part of Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, I would like to further ask in the sense, because there's a general feeling, especially by CSOs, that he should have been relieved of his duties or he should resign in order to pave way for the ACC to investigate. Do you feel that is the right way? Especially that this never happened in the case of Honorable Minister of Tourism, Honorable Chilufya.
First and foremost, by Wiseman Tembo, I doubt very much if you are wise. I doubt very much. And I think you should stop using that word, Wiseman Tembo, because you are not wise. How can you ask that what law was broken by the PF booking the ferry for 21 days? Look, that ferry is a government ferry. And in order to create a level playing field, government should have come up with a program to say, on this day and this day, the UPND will be the ones to transport their vehicles. On this day, it should be the PF, because that is the only only mode of transport to transport vehicles. There is no any other mode of transport. The other one will be by air. Now tell me, which political party have a cargo plane that can fly vehicles from the mainland to the island? You, instead of saying that, no, I think government and the PF made a mistake and this should not be encouraged to happen, you are saying you are Wiseman Tembo. Then you say, what law did they break? First and foremost, the PF were being unreasonable, one. Secondly, Zamtel was being unreasonable. Zampost. They knew there were elections there and they needed to level the playing field. Now you allow your friends not to take your vehicles there. You take your vehicles there. We won the election. It's like in a boxing match. That is fake. So I expect a wise man with the name Wiseman Tembo to tell the PF and the government that what you did in Chilubi should not be repeated. But because you are not wise, you can't see the reasoning behind that. Secondly, I am not saying Chitalu Chilufya is guilty. I am saying there is a lot of allegations that have been brought to me about what Chitalu Chilufya is doing in the ministry. And I've spoken about them so many times. What we want is Chitalu Chilufya to be taken to court so that he can explain these allegations like I've been taken to court. I'm not saying he's guilty, by far. But we all know who Chitalu Chilufya was before he became minister. What did he have? One lodge called Courtyard Lodge. And rarely did people sleep there. Go to the registry at Ministry of Lands today. Go and see how many properties Chitalu Chilufya has. If he goes in the constituents, we have not heard of any business that Chitalu Chilufya does. He gives money like toilet tissue. Where is he getting the money from? Just like Bowman Lusambo. Bowman Lusambo used to ask money from the chat with the former MMD leaders, like my brother Nevas Mum. He used to ask for 100 kwacha. Transport 100 kwacha. Today is donating 4,000 bags of mini meal. Is buying musical instruments for the churches, and then he's saying it's from President Edgar Lungu. Is it true those TVs and everything are being given by President Edgar Lungu? If they are being given by President Edgar Lungu, we'll also ask, where is President Edgar Lungu going to getting those things to give Lusambo to go and give? You see, Chino Chalo, if we are not careful and we want to gloss over these issues, abantu bakalachula for a few people will be stealing and using government resources through acts of corruption. Nobody is saying Chitaluchilufia is guilty. But we are saying, look, you cannot have a boyfriend and a girlfriend running a ministry as PS and the minister. Morally wrong, first and foremost. So you a wise man, Piri, you think a girlfriend and boyfriend, Chitaluchilufia, na girlfriend wakwale running a ministry. Is that normal? It's morally wrong. If you have heard about Johnson, the prime minister in Britain,
yeah,
the British prime minister, today is answering on a charge of putting his girlfriend on trips when he was governor. They are questioning that he used to go out with a certain lady and she used to go on government trips. There's an inquiry going on why he should allow his girlfriend to be going on trips, and really why he had a girlfriend in the local government administration of the city of London. Integrity to le fire yo, morality to le fire. No, wise man tamule imona. Wise man.
I've got a few more messages. There are many, but let me pick out notable ones. This one says, Zach, I thank Kambwili for being brave and sincere. I will vote for you or UPND next year. You are really honest. This one says, hi, Dr. Chishimba. I like your talking. Keep it up. We are behind you. This is Moses Piri Rilanda, Soweto. The other one says, good morning, Dr. Sike. Sir, Zambia today needs a more practical leader than never before. Please, tulubuleni ko tuapapata. This one says, Mr. Kambwili, let us as opposition to change the evil government. This is Daniel Lisulo, or rather says, Daniel Lisulo once says, one will be led by a bunch of fools. Economy has been run down because cadres are benefiting in all sectors at the expense of millions of Zambians who are taxpayers. Every kingdom has its rise and fall. This is Anthony Chifwembe, I think. Yes, Anthony Chifwembe, Ndoweni of Lusaka. Your quick comments on that.
Oh, those are accolades, and
yes,
I think we will not let the people of Zambia down. Me, I've shown wherever I've been that I'm a performer. Sometimes I've been ill-treated by people because they would want to go into the president and tell lies, Kambwili, this transfer to this ministry. Wherever I go, I perform according to the requirement of that ministry. I was Minister of Foreign Affairs. Some people were jealous. They went and told Mr. Sata, blah, 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 blah. I was moved. Sport. When I went to Minister of Sport, let me tell you if you don't know, I found the budget of that ministry was 36 billion kwacha per annum. I raised it to 167 billion. When I was minister, asked the sports organization, when they were going out, they were funded. There was nothing like we only fund football. When I was at the ministry, the under-20 was being funded. Today we are told we can only fund the senior national team. When I was at the ministry, there was youth empowerment, and we were doing it openly, giving checks, people seeing that this is happening. Have you ever heard of those things happening today? When I was at the ministry, I found the ministry had I think about 6 vehicles. When we were eliminated from the Africa Cup of Nations, together with my PS were Agnes Musunga, that hard-working woman, and the team at the ministry, we said, look, we don't have transport. This money was budgeted for Africa. Let's ask the Minister of Finance to vary this money, allow us to buy transport. I bought 39 vehicles at the ministry. And since I left, there's been no new vehicles that have been bought in that ministry. When I was Minister of Labor, I want to buy my employers because they know so I don't just talk. I'm an action-oriented man. I don't want any Zambian to suffer. I want to improve the living standards of the people. Because in an na lela la pabutanda twalela pabutanda ngana tusunda ne misunashi nembeka mumbafu. I don't want Zambians to continue ukulala pabutanda. I want Zambians to have an improved living conditions. Not few people getting government money and putting it in their pockets through commissions and forget about the living standards of our people. That is not Chishimba Kambwili. So when I speak, I know. But the problem that we have, others may ask, why government Kaidi, but why didn't you do this? I was a minister running a ministry, and I worked in accordance with my mandate. The president is responsible for all the areas in the country. Sometimes you may take an idea to the president, and if he says he can't implement, who are you? For instance, you remember when we came into the office when I was Minister of Youth, I said, let's start national service. So that every child who leaves school goes to the national service. During their national service training, they are trained in agriculture, carpentry, and all these skills for 1.5 years, 18 months. So that when they come out of that, they've got the skills already. Those who have got good results will go in the universities. Those who don't have good results can be self-sustaining. That was not the thinking of my president at the time, Michael Sata. And the program did not take off. But imagine if I was president, it could have taken off. So, I want to urge the Zambians to support practical people who know what they want to deliver to Zambia, who know the suffering of the people. Not abantu abakwat mwayalundama lights by 200% without recourse to how the people are going to feel, without recourse to how much people are earning per month. Look, I've given an example at my house, and it is true. You can go and check with Zesco. I was using about 1,600, 1,200 per month. Today, my consumption of electricity per month is 6,000 kwacha. And I have said, and I want to say it again. When load shedding ends, the biggest problem that the government is going to have is there's going to be a protest over the cost of electricity, because electricity is now above reach. I am spending 6,000 per month. Now, people are spending money today. They can't see that electricity has changed because there's load shedding. During the day, you don't have electricity. Electricity only comes at night. So when you buy 200 or 300, it will take you longer because you're not utilizing the electricity. But the moment load shedding will end, industries because the industries cannot make profit. If they will not close, they will increase the price of their produce. And the price of the produce will be above the reach of ordinary people. And you see what is going to happen to this country. I have pleaded with President Edgar Lungu and the PF. Yes, we need cost-reflective tariffs, but it has to be gradual. As we are growing the economy, we are improving on the conditions of service for the employees and their salaries. You are also gradually increasing the tariffs. But when the people are getting low salaries, you go and increase electricity by 200%. It's unreasonable. It's unreasonable. So what we are talking about here is you need a government that is going to think what effect will this action we are doing have on the people. But this time, people just do things without recourse to how the people will receive that kind of adjustment or that kind of policy or action. When abantu kuti baleba ati minister, I mean that you think we can lose power with the sweet that we are enjoying. Muamuleka ni minister. Awe fiena file chita file tuwekesha kunse nokutuseba nyangabena Zambia.
Mr. President, because of time, I would like to thank you very much for coming. I know that there are a lot of messages that have been coming, the phones keep ringing, but we had to accommodate only a few. But more so, I would like to say that in case...
and by the way,
yes,
before we conclude,
right,
I am told, I don't know if it is true, that UNZA, University of Zambia salaries have not been paid. But government has moved money from paying the University of Zambia to the soldiers patrolling. If that is done, it is unfortunate. Yes, we need the patrols, but look for money elsewhere and pay the University of Zambia lecturers, because they are human beings like us. Let us not move money from one area to another. Yeah? You cannot solve a problem by creating another problem. So yes, we need the soldiers to help the police. Like I've said, if this thing is not controlled of gassing, and where is the police? Because even yesterday, another school was gassed, I'm told. It was on TV. So Bowman is saying we're on top of things. We know the people that are gassing. Bowman, can you go to the police and tell the police who are gassing and show us that you are on top of things? As long as they are still gassing, you are not on top of things. Stop issuing rhetoric statements. Because ulefa vale kumfati Bowman ya lelanda. Bachita gas abayicho wabutukila kwa. Insto yakwa minister kula butukila kwa bachita gas. Insto yakwa minister. Is to find solutions to end the gassing. Iwenga bach gassing ululilo. Tawakwa tafia kushita mu office. Zambians, see the leadership for who they are. Show me your friends, and I'll know who you are. This government has terribly failed the people of Zambia. And the only way is Kuya Vevele Le Sampale. Hallelujah. Amen.
Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much to those that have taken time to also listen and participate by way of calling or indeed sending us messages. We will certainly be back next week at the same time, God willing, and we can only wish you the best. Bye-bye.
Increase your car's efficiency with Mount Meru Fuel. Opening soon is Mount Meru filling station in Chingola. By Chingola, imunombani DVD fi petrol, ama for one lubricant, fi diesel, na gas ya kuikila. So say fi Mount Meru filling station in Chingola. Mount Meru, quality you can trust. Mount Meru filling station is on stand number 853 along Kitwe Road, Chingola.
Tune in next week for another edition of The Burning Issue, and thank you for your participation. Democracy and freedom of expression is about tolerating the views that you don't like